Welcome to Neo Royal House of Pricey Cardboard. With the product avalanche we are experiencing this year, maybe you feel like you can't keep up with everything. But at the same time, being aware of where cards are being reprinted is important to save money on buying singles. After all, almost all products contain EDH reprint these days. A lot of channels are doing set reviews, going over every card, but most videos are very long. I present to you a project idea named Comprehensive and Quick Set Review, Core 21 Edition. In this video, I will go over the best reprints in the set, for the committed players who want to save a little bit of money, the best new rares and mythics for the little spikes in us, and finally, the most interesting new commons and uncommons for all budget players or more casual playgroups. There's so many ways to play Commander, and some of those less expensive cards are really nice. I will go over every card quickly, mentioning or showing a deck or two where this could go, and moving on to the next card. Think of this as an informative version of the Pokemon intro song, but with less rhythm and more magic cards. As I'm doing this video, I'm not sure yet of the duration I will be able to get, but what I would like is to be less than 20 minutes, while still being clear and understandable. With the introduction out of the way, let's get started. For the reprints. Grim Tutor was originally printed in starter deck back in '99 and never reprinted ever since, making it extremely pricey. Weaker than Demonic Tutor but stronger than Diabolic, I'm sure many players will be happy to get this card at a more reasonable price. Ujin the Spirit Dragon was first printed in Fate Reforged and never reprinted in the set. It's a versatile mass exile for colored permanents that is colorless and can be included in any EDH deck. Bonus points for Eldrazi deck where you would ramp a lot and not lose your colorless permanent. Even at Mythic, the price will go down for sure. Massacre Worm was first printed in Mirrodin Besiege and never reprinted. Always a commander staple, this card was mostly used to completely destroy small tokens players. At this moment, the card is available for around 12 Canadian dollars, where it used to be 40 to 50, I believe. Really nice reprint. Azusa Lost But Seeking, first printed in Champions of Kamigawa and reprinted in Master 25. She's still nice to see, as land matter decks are really popular and tend to drive the price up for these cards soon after every reprint. Finally, Heroic Intervention was first printed in Aether Revolt around the time where I started to play Commander, and it was available for around $5 for a long time before the Commander format exploded in popularity and drove the card to around 20 to 30 Canadian dollars. I'll finally be able to add this sweet defensive card to my new green decks. Fable Passage was first printed in a recent set, Throne of Eldraine, as a standard legal version of Prismatic Vista. I expected the card to be a lot cheaper on release, but even with the 4 lands requirement, the price was still a little high for a better Evolving Wild. Grab them while they're hot. Those are the 6 money makers, if you will. In the less expensive but still nice reprints, we have Baneslayer Angel, Containment Priest, and Solemn Simulacrum, all around the $5 mark. Nice card to have in an EDH collection. The land cycle in this set is the enemy Scry Temples from OG Teros. Nothing too exciting, since we got them in Core 20, and they are tapped lands, but still better than only Guild Gates. To close on the reprint section, Cultivate, an auto included in a lot of green decks. I'm always happy with a reprint as it dragged the price down, and the new promo version looks really sweet. Same thing for the Scavenging Ooze. If you don't run Gravate in Commander, please do. Now for the new rares and mythics. Core 21 includes a lot of sweet new cards. Let's go over them by color. The Elephant in the Room, Mangara the Diplomat. Finally, a card draw in mono white, combining the effect of Crom and kind of Crawl Space at 4 mana with lifelink, a sweet new creature. Speaker of Heavens, a nice low-costed creature for life gain deck. I'm pretty sure the reason his condition is at 7 and not 6 is because of our friend Sarah's Ascendant. Teferi, Master of Time, the main face of the set. From what I understand, you will be able to uptick him at every player's turn, so we'll definitely need to look out for this card. You don't want your opponents to take 2 extra turns for 4 mana. Teferi, Ageless Insight, is the draw half of Alamorat's Archive. 2 blue colors, but 1 CMC cheaper, a little like the new Tessa was for Conjurer's Closet. A nice card, I will put it in my Azor deck for sure. Sublime Epiphany. This very blue card seems to do it all. 6 mana is quite expensive, but if your deck tends to keep a lot of mana up for flash or instants, maybe the huge value will work for you. Now going to red. I think they got the most number of interesting rares in this set, even though the face character was Teferi. Fiery Emancipation, the damaged version of Nyxbloom Ancient. I've said it before, but the words double and even more so triple are very dangerous and explosive compared to add one more to the total. Anyway, get ready to lose a lot of life if this thing resolves. Terror of the Peaks is essentially a Warstorm Surge on a stick, nice card overall, cheaper than the enchantment and easier to bring back in Rakdos deck. Count me in! Brash Hunter, somewhat of a red version of Stuffydol, this one can actually fight to deal more than 1 damage by itself, and you can change the target player every time. This card will be really funny if you run a lot of damage based board wipe. Chandra Incinerator, fitting really well with the red cards we just saw and a lot of commanders, the Incinerator will reduce its cost and give you burn strategy more removals for creatures and planeswalkers. Conspicuous Snoop. I'm not too savvy in the Goblin department, but I'm sure card advantage from the top of your deck will work great in Goblin Tribals. If I'm not mistaken, there's a fetch that lets you put a lot of Goblin on top of your library, so these two together will be really strong. Double Vision. More copying spells. Yay! Most instants and sorcery focused decks are Izzet, Grixis, and now Timur with Calamax. This card will bring you a lot of value. It can trigger the turn you played it, compared to triggers like Rashmi and Vial Smasher that sees that you already casted a spell this turn. Oh boy. Subira Telzidi Caravaner. A very nice new mono-red legion, raw card draw in red is very rare, and there's a lot of low power creatures with sweet triggers that will utilize the unblockable ability. A nice build around, but will make it for sure in some 99. Elder Gargaroth, the only green card in this section. It has 3 keywords and 3 options to choose from when you attack or more importantly, block. One of them being drawing a card. I can't think of a really specific deck to put this in, it's just big power creep good stuff. Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose, a sanguine bond effect on a creature for only 3 mana. Count me in. The last time we got something like that was in Zendikar and it costed 7 and had no activated ability. So yeah, pretty powerful. Hooded Blightfang. This one won't go in a lot of decks, but will go in every Abatra deck for sure. Chromatic Orrery, very strong card if you want to do infinites, otherwise I don't think it's that great for 7 mana, maybe some big mana strategy can use this in a more casual way, we'll have to see. Maze Mine Tome. Always nice to have some more card draw on colorless cards, it seems good even though you are limited to 4 uses. These cards are often played in colors that need more draw or artifact strategies. Spark Hunter Manticore. This card is really specific to Planeswalker control, and I just wanted to acknowledge it since it's in the same set as the new Teferi. Maybe you often play against Superfen and need this. Sanctum of All is a new 5-color enchantment that cares about Shrine. We got a new shrine in every color in addition to the ones we already had in Eternal Masters, because I really knew about them before the release of this set. All of them care about the number of total shrines you control. It's not gonna reinvent the format, but it could be a neat sub-team for a commander deck. Maybe the new Sissy to fetch them every turn and getting the most out of all those triggers. The last category, let's call them bulk gems, or cheap and sweet. My favorite in this category, and maybe even in the whole set, Garruk Uprising. A new version of Elemental Bond with the required power being 4 instead of 3, but you get compensated by gaining trample on all of your creatures, and it can trips if you already control a creature with power 4. It's so good for the same cost than the Bond. Pride Malkin is a new version of Tuskar Captain. Instead of being able to outlast, you can put the counter on anything as soon as it ETBs, which is better in my opinion. You get a little less stats for the same mana though. Wildwood Scourge is pretty straightforward. This Hydra cares about putting counters on non-Hydra creatures. So any creature / proliferate deck could use this. It doesn't have keyword though, but green just got 2 new Trample Anthem, so maybe it works for you. Llanowar Visionary. Somebody used basic math to create a card from 2 existing cards. I don't know if 3 is too high of a cost for elves, but this was funny enough to make to the list. Citizen Training, another trample giver, though singular this time. It cantrips itself, gives a small boost and trample. Very playable if your commander likes enchantments or lacks trample. Conclave Mentor, my second favorite in this section. It's a new hardened scale on a stick with some included life gain as a bonus. Sweet and common. Malefic Sight? Maybe it's because I play a lot against gold color Gisa, but this card seems pretty interesting if you sacrifice your creatures regularly and care about having more stats on them. Village Rites, 1 mana version of Altar Re, very playable. You either use this to put something you want in your graveyard or prevent the exile on your key creature when you play a lot of recursion. At 1 mana, drawing 2 is a nice answer to exile removals. Liliana Scrounger. I believe this one comes in the Planeswalkers deck. The important part is that it says Liliana Planeswalker and not the one specifically that come in its deck. Liliana is a popular character and the one from WoW the Spark wins the game if you ultimate. Nice synergy if you run a couple of lilies. Sanguine Indulgence, another great little card for life gain deck. If you sacrifice something to gain life and then brought it back to hand plus a friend for 1 black mana, this seems pretty efficient. Feat of Resistance. Cheap and defensive card, protection from colors go around basically anything beside mass destruction, and the +1/+1 counter can be utilized in proliferate strategies. Goblin Wizardry. I did not expect this one at all, but it's really interesting. Definitely a must include in Zelda decks where you will cast a lot of cantrips. Unleash Fury. This one is pretty straightforward, but since it uses the word double, if you manage to copy it, you will get 4 times the power, probably one-shotting opponents out of the game. Last card, Lovely Denial. Seems playable if your commander have flying, or even better if you run a flying tribal deck. There's already a lot of counters to choose from, but this one needs only 1 blue mana, and you can counter any types of spell. Pretty interesting in color heavy decks. So that concludes the full set review. What do you think about the format? Is this something you would like to see every set, or did I forget the best cards in the set? Tell me in the comments, I answer to everyone. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more updates, and subscribe if you didn't already. Take care and see you soon. Okay, bye.